It's daunting. It's daunting. It's daunting to believe, to feel that we matter. Like, for real. Not kind of, not theoretically, not. I mean, that's all real too. But it's daunting to feel like we really fucking matter. Like, you really fucking matter. You know? It's daunting. Like, in a huge way. Like, not just like, yeah, you matter, everybody matters. Like, no. Big. It's daunting. Right? For good or bad. And especially for good. I'm a I've done despicable things. I still matter deeply. Why? Because I'm still here. If you're into the Bible, if you're into the Bible, then you can think of, I mean, I'll get to the science part too, right? But like, if you're into the Bible, Paul, St. Paul, he killed Christians. That was his job. That's what he did. Passionately. He loved it. That was his thing. He did it. And Jesus was like, that's my guy. The arisen Jesus was like, that's my motherfucking guy. Right? And then in science, there's the forbidden experiments. Things that we've learned that we shouldn't have learned. Never mind that the whole enterprise is this great, and I'm not trying to harsh on, just right now I'm speaking just symbolically. I'm not always speaking symbolically, but right now I'm speaking symbolically that that the entire scientific enterprise as we know it, well, I shouldn't say the entire, a large part of the scientific enterprise is the pre-Christian Paul. That's where we're at in science. Science right now is the pre-Christian Paul, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, we do shit we shouldn't fucking do. Because there are more rational ways to go about it. Never mind the fact, if we could see X-rays, we wouldn't need to make X-ray machines. If we could see radio waves, if we could see infrared and ultraviolet. Now I'm talking about the forbidden experiment, right? Think of Nazis. Never mind what we did down in Guatemala. Well, we being the U.S. Never mind what we do to rats. Kill rats. Some sacred ceremonies they eat rats. In some sacred temples they eat with rats. That's more the Galapagos version of it. The Galapagos version of it. Eating rats in a religious sacrifice, that's the Aztec version of worshiping God. And trust me, sacrificing 80,000 people isn't just a material thing, 84,000. It's not just a material thing. The best way people think about it is either as karma and quantum entanglement. You do an experiment in a lab and it's like, oh, quantum entanglement. And all these physicists are thinking of billiard balls bouncing all over. It's like billiards. Well, no. Every molecule of this is already entangled. When we entangle in a scientific lab on the shoulders of giants with thousands of years of technology, when we do that in a lab, all we're doing is we're disentangling and re-entangling one little thing. Meanwhile, this whole fucking contraption, aka me, aka you, is already entangled, entwined, sewn. We are these marionettes sewn through space-time. And every fucking thing we do matters. That's not to say there isn't room for play. Hating isn't play. Butchery isn't play. Bondage isn't play. Spilling blood isn't play. There are other kinds of play. 84,000, 1984. What's the answer to 1776, 1984? Well, there was Orwell's 84, but what was the biggest thing that happened in 1984? Mary Lou fucking Retton. A small, short, young girl who fucking killed it. That's the answer. And that's what 1776 was fighting for. Freedom. You know, the quote-unquote women's movement has come a long way, but we're not there. And that has been one of the primary goals of the Underground Railroad forever. And it goes back thousands of years. Because the truth goes back to the beginning. To Mom. Daunting. Daunting. The dawn. It's daunting to be God. God knows everything. God knows the culmination of all suffering and responds to it. And is strong enough to. When we realize that we matter, it's tough. shut off because I thought I was done. I thought, hey, this is the rare occasion where I'm only going to speak for 10 minutes. And then I was rewatching what I just did just before, well, because I was just going to post it, but then I rewatched what I just did. And I realized, no, like I was trying to get to something, like the forbidden experiment of eugenics, right? Which is harshed on. Because of like, and this is a key point, and it's the point between, this is it. The point I'm about to make is the point that you can make between, in philosophy, the point between Plato and Aristotle as interpreted via Iamblichus. Iamblichus was Plotinus's student. Plotinus is called a Neoplatonist. Aristotle was Plato's student. But Plotinus was more like Socrates in so much as he never wrote anything and he was only spoken about. He was practically illiterate. Plotinus was practically illiterate, or so they say, even though it's rumored that at one time he held most of the wealth in Rome. And insofar as Western thought is historically concerned, he's the first great benefactor of women, of edifying women. So what I'm about to say is a really, I think, really good analogy. Because the forbidden experiment of eugenics is what the Nazis did to the Jews, right? There's all those famous things about the experiments that the Nazis did with the Jews. You can Google it. But you're probably at least familiar with some of it, and that probably suffices for this conversation. Or tyrannical diatribe being as though I'm only able to respond to myself and my presumed reactions that you may have. But, you know, it runs the gamut. Pavlov's dog is the craziest fucking forbidden experiment. And the reason why it's so crazy is that it took something completely fucking obvious and now it's like a huge thing. It took something completely fucking obvious and it's a huge thing. Turn back now. Turn back now because I'm about to Pavlovianize you. I'm going to hypnotize you. Not all of you. But if 100 people watch this, I will ruin somewhere between 10 and 40% of these people's lives. On the 10% side, forever, and on the 40% side, just for a while. And I'm just going to mention something that has happened to me and that I'm only now learning how to deal with. Am I going to talk about that? Yeah, I guess so. People unconsciously click pens. People unconsciously click pens. And pens are everywhere. free pens at the bank, whatever. Sitting there talking to the bank, people like click, 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 click. Somewhere along the way, myself, because that's the worst part of what's happened over time via the enemy. And I don't only refer to that in a like naive, watered down Christian type of way. I also mean that very much in the Iamblichean, in Iamblichus's Aristotle filtered through Iamblichus. Also, this is a good time to mention when Plato talks about Platonic forms, but Plato didn't like Homer, which talked about the gods. This is the problem with even calling them Platonic forms. We'd be much better off calling them Archimedean forms. John the Baptist, John the Evangelist, the Word, the beginning of the New Testament, the Word, John the Evangelist, who goes into the Word and then starts talking about John the Baptist, Archimedes. We'd be a lot better off talking about Archimedean forms. So, one of the things that needs to happen so far is all this shit about renaming shit. It's another good time to bring up also that what we need to do. Man is good, but man means human. Man already means human. Woman means a man with a womb. What we need to do is put a prefix in front of man. Ha. Ha, man. That fixes 90% of it. And then, obviously, her man. Woman, ha man, and her man. And that pretty much solves the equation. Anyway, we need to stop thinking of them as Platonic forms and start. I mean, there might be a better thing, but Archimedean forms is definitely better, and it fits symbolically perfectly. Until the day when we come to Apollonian forms or Apollonian forms. Anyway. When it comes to like, yeah, and that's another thing also about the first. I'll get into this more later, but the first living being, the first blood in space. Life is in the blood. So the first life, as we know it, in space, was the dog, Laiku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Laiku is the English translation of the dog that went up in Sputnik. Companion, I travel with you. But they sent that fucker up alone. And he cooked to death. He cooked to death in that fucking... So think of your dog. Put your dog in an oven. Your dog that you love. Put your dog in your oven. And most people know the name Pavlov's dog, though I'll have to look it up. I don't know if that dog had a name, right? As it so happens, and this is very interesting, is that Laiku in Russian means barker. Like one who barks. So it's just like this nameless dog. This dog who's called What a Dog Does. But that's also very interesting as it relates to the Word. In the beginning was the Word. Doesn't say God, doesn't say Jesus, says the Word. The beginning of the space race, in the beginning was the barker, which is the word of the dog. Backwards God. Anyway. So in a sense, these are forbidden experiments. No, not in a sense. They have a karmic response. They're bad. We shouldn't have done it. Yet even God acquiesced. Why? There were a lot of dogs who died that day. And some were cooked in a different type of oven that day and eaten, right? A lot of dogs killed that day. And what I was saying about, like, what if we could see x-rays, right? Just like dogs can smell cancer. If we could see ultraviolet, if we could see radio waves, if we could see superluminally, which they say is forbidden, but which obviously fucking isn't. Goldfish, a lot of sea creatures can see a lot of other parts of the light spectrum, right? But goldfish, so far as I know, are the only animal that can see, well, so far that we know. You know, we don't necessarily know what shrimp know, and there's this other creature, I forget what it's called, but it looks like a cross between a shrimp and a lobster, and its arms move so fast that it can crack open like a snail. It could probably crack open could probably break a bone in a human. It can break through aquariums. It's like this big. But anyway, so far as we know, like, goldfish are the only thing that can see ultraviolet and infrared. Like, some things can see infrared, birds can see ultraviolet, but like goldfish are the only things that can see ultraviolet and infrared. And goldfish were, you could say, genetically engineered, or a process of eugenics. But carp, my understanding is that carp were heralded in Asian societies as, well, I saw a video of, like, a woman who washed her water. She had a hole in her floor, and she washed her dishes in, like, this really clean water that was like a stream. It wasn't plumbing, it was a stream. but yet it was like a naturalistic form of plumbing beneath her house. And the carp would swim there, and they'd eat up all the debris. But like it kept the water super clean. Right? So carp already have that quality. Their presence made something better. And nothing necessarily had to die. Especially considering in that particular, vicinity, there's not a lot of meat. So this carp is sitting there, eating up rice scraps and so the in-season vegetables, all that kind of thing. So then these carp are taken and secluded in small ponds without predators. And that's how goldfish are born. Goldfish were born by taking carp, which likely were well thought of because of this other quality they had of cleaning the water. And like, this is science, this is chemistry. And it's also moral and beneficial and a good experiment. And it's scientific and it's a good experiment and it corresponds with the heart. And it's not Pavlovian. It's not reprogramming the brain to make false associations. It's deepening the true associations of love. By setting these carp aside in these pools without predators and letting what happens happen. By being relaxed, they were able to develop this super ability. Some things do develop quote unquote super abilities based upon extreme stress. Right? But that's what we always think as far as like Darwinianism is like stress, response, mutation, manipulation, spread genes, become more dominant. And it's also, but on the other side of it, when allowed to relax, when allowed to be loved, that's an act of love, right? It's an act of love. By being relaxed and being just allowed to develop safely, nurtured. Imagine if we did that with human beings. Imagine if we developed in non-competitive environments, coalescive environments where people were allowed to flourish, to bloom. Every plant we see is a seed that bloomed. Most seeds don't bloom. Most seeds are either eaten or rot. It's a small percentage of seeds that bloom. Look at the human body. In a male, the amount of sperm that are created versus the number of children, right? In one nutsack, in a lifetime, there's enough sperm to create the entire population of the world several times over, right? Most seeds don't bloom. Does it have to be that way? Imagine if all of us human seeds bloomed at the same time. There's so many of us now. Imagine if we all bloomed together. How beautiful that would be. Not bloom by just spilling seed. Like bloomed, right? I'm not there. I haven't bloomed. But I've seen, I will say, I'll just admit it, I've seen those who have bloomed and what they can do. And what they want for us. What do I mean? I mean the gods among us, the leprechauns among us, the aliens among us, the angels, the saints, the ghosts, the good ones. I've seen the bad ones too. But the power of the good, man, the power of the truth, the lie cannot win. Why we can't handle the truth, a large part of it is because we can't come to terms with the idea that there's a benevolent force trying to put us into a safe pool so that we may bloom. So that we may become like them and bring others into the safe pool so they may bloom. Goldfish were created by taking carps, putting them in a safe place, letting them do their thing and relax. Because they were already beneficial. My assumption, if I take it from my standpoint, not the standpoint of those of my betters, then I'd say, hey, these guys are good at doing things. Let's set them aside, see, study them a little bit. Let's protect them. They can clean our water. And then all of a sudden these beautiful, and it's like they can see ultraviolet and they can see infrared, and then they go from like a gray cark to this beautiful color. So they bloom, like they get extra rods and cones or whatever in their eye, never mind in their own pineal. But then they also brighten. What more fucking beautiful of a metaphor could there be? I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. Not to mention they're called gold fish. Now, obviously, there was probably selection afterwards and so on, but the key point is that they were allowed to relax. They weren't fucking cut up into million pieces. They weren't all this CRISPR shit. They were just allowed to relax. Without predators. Without shit always being on their fucking back. And again, that comes into the whole idea of like eugenics, genesis, genetics. we cut up so many animals in these scientific experiments. And the world, on the one hand, we give, for instance, rats are more closely related to us than eagles. Eagles are murderous fucks. They'll try to take a child. They'll eat a person. Let's put it this way, if they can knock a deer or a mountain go off a mountain, let it fall to its death so it can eat it, it would knock you off a mountain, right? And we put great effort into trying to save them. It's also worth noting, I'll get to this at another time, that they say the bald eagle is the symbol of America. What is the highest person in America? The president. What is the presidential seal? Well, they say it's the bald eagle, but it's not. Because if you're into symbolism, it's actually a really easy symbol to crack. Really easy. Because it's a bird. It's a bird that has a white head, but it has a light brown body. A bald eagle has what I consider like a black body, but is like a really, really, really dark brown body. So the bald eagle of the presidency is a light brown body with a white head. So that's like a bald and a brown eagle, white and black. North and south. And then it has, on the presidential seal, the blue and the red, light blue. It's a symbol of a turkey. It's the encoded symbol that goes back 10,000 fucking years, 12,000 years. That has been sown through history by the true religion. Rats are more closely related to us. They are more like us. Rats will eat anything. Rats can live vegan. An eagle eats its own. That's why the presidential seal is symbolically encoded as a turkey, because turkeys don't. An eagle will eat a bird while it's still alive. Also part of the encoding is that they call it the bald eagle, even though the bald eagle isn't bald. But turkey vultures are bald. They tend not to be as aggressive, but they will scare you to death. And I can speak from experience. When you have 12 of them circling over your head because you're climbing a mountain feebly, they're trying to scare you so that you hurt yourself, and then they'll descend. They might not knock you down off the mountain like the eagle will, but the turkey vulture, they'll scare you to death. For real. It's a real thing. It's a thing. That's why historically hikers, that's one of the reasons why the real hikers, pilgrimages, right? Like when, what's his name? Martin Luther, when he made his pilgrimage to Rome or whatever. It was like a 500-mile fucking walk. So why do all these hikers and monks and wizards have sticks? One of the reasons, and I learned this, well, I'll get into that some other time, but you carry a stick so that when a bird's around, you wave your stick ahead above your head because they'll attack the highest point. And that also relates back to the multi-thousand-year quest against sacrifice of animals. And that even includes just you eating meat at all, and especially to those folk who are believers. So you bless your food before you eat it. If it wasn't a sacrifice before, I mean it was, karmically, but like if it wasn't a sacrifice, just philosophically, if it wasn't a sacrifice before you prayed over it, as soon as you pray over it, it becomes a religious sacrifice. But don't feel bad about it. Because the last 2,000 years have not been the revelation. People think about that in a bad way. But a revelation is a revelation. The apocalypse is now I know. And once 2.2 billion people in the world are awakened, because we're living in the last 2,000 years have been living in like kind of the darkness of the word, so to speak. We've been living in the hidden meaning. What we're coming to is the revealed meaning. Great potential. If we don't make it, all is lost.